Hey everybody, welcome to the first video in my Intro to HTML web video series. In this video I'm going to talk about the basics of an HTML file, what one is and how to save it, how to open it, and basically I'm going to be teaching this through Notepad++ and Windows. So if you don't have those, you're going to have to make sure that you know how your operating system works. If you're using Mac, you need to know how to find a file on a Mac. If you're using a different code editor, you're going to need to know how to save and open a file in that code editor. Those are some of the basic responsibilities that you should have. But this one is going to show you how to use Windows and Notepad++. Alright, here we go. This is what an HTML file looks like. In a future video, I'm going to talk about all the details on this. But for now, all I'm going to do is show you how to put some content in it. I'm going to show you how to save it, and I'm going to show you how to open it in a browser. Content is always going to go in between the opening and closing body tags. I'm going to put it right down here. Hello, I am content. Or I am content. Either way you want to read it is fine. But I'm going to say I am content. I'm going to also type hello world, because that's a common thing that we do when we're doing any kind of code. And this is going to be the content that will show up in the browser. When I say content, I mean all of the stuff that shows up in the browser window, you know, inside of Google Chrome in that window that we look at. Inside that browser window when we run the HTML file. Okay, so what's an HTML file? Essentially, an HTML file is a text document with some special little pieces of code in there that tell a web browser how to interpret that content. Those special little pieces of code is called the markup. All of this stuff is markup, and markup is made up of these things called tags. We'll talk about those in a future video. What I need to do to make this markup run in a browser is I need to save this file. Currently it's just a text file. So what I'm going to do is go to File, Save As, and I need to browse for a location where I want to save it. So I'm going to go to Computer, Local Disk, Users, Mine. I'm going to find it in my Dropbox because that's what I use. You know, your file system might be different. Maybe you're saving it in documents, maybe you're saving it on desktop. I don't know where you're going to save things, but you need to find a location on your computer where you want to save things. I'm saving mine in Dropbox. So your browsing experience right now looking for a folder probably won't look exactly like mine. They're all going to be different because our computer systems have different file structures and different folders. I'm going to Dropbox. And I'm going to save it in my 1020 folder. Hopefully you have a 1020 folder as well. I've got one called HTML Files, New Videos. And I've got one called Unit 1. And I'm going to save it in here. I'm going to call it lesson1.html. Now I need to save as type. You'll see this little drop-down menu right here. We need to save it as a hypertext markup language file. This is a long list of things. So we need to, it's all alphabetical, so we're going to go down to H. Haskell, hey, there's hypertext markup language. And you see HTML.html, SHTML, whatever. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click Save. Now what I need to do is I need to browse for this file. In Windows, I can go to Computer, I can go to Local Disk C:, browse through Users, because that's where I saved it. Seagull is where I saved it. Dropbox is where I saved it. 1020 is where I saved it. And then HTML Files and Unit 1. Now, I've found where that file is located. One of the basic requirements for this video is you need to be able to navigate through your file system. If you save something in a location, you need to be able to browse to find it. That's what I've done. I've done in Windows, I've just looked for that folder. Now, when I went to File, Save As, let's say I'll save it as a copy. I'll save it as Lesson 1 New. Make sure it's an HTML, save it, and when I go back to that folder, another file appeared. That Lesson 1 New showed up. They're just duplicates of one another, but I just wanted to show you that when I save something, that file is going to show up in the file system. I know many of you, this is going to feel elementary, but I think this is an important thing to talk about. Now, you'll see mine looks like a little Chrome icon. That's because I have Chrome set as my default browser in Windows. If your default browser is Microsoft Edge or Explorer or Firefox, you're going to get the Edge or Explorer or Firefox icon there. Now to open it up, I just double click on it. It opens in the browser. There you go. You can see, hello, I am content. Hello world shows up. That corresponds with the content that I typed in there. Anything that I type here will show up in that browser. Cool, huh? So that's how you save and open a file. Here's another way to open it. In Notepad++, you can just go to Run, launch in any one of our browsers. So I'm going to launch in Chrome. And there you go. That's the very basics of using Notepad++, the very basics of writing an HTML file and saving one, locating it in your file system, and opening it in two different ways. I hope this video was useful. Thanks for watching.